Hello, coolers, and welcome back to Viva Barca. Welcome to the home of everything Barcelona, where we are going to be discussing on some interesting updates. We are going to be discussing on two reports in this episode. We start with this one claiming that Barca president Joan Laporta will send a message to UEFA president over the VAR controversy in the Inter Milan vs Barcelona clash. We are going to be discussing on that as we progress. Then secondly, talking about Memphis Depay, as it has been reported that Newcastle United are interested in a January move for the out-of-favor Barcelona forward. We are also going to be discussing on that. So guys, before we get right into it in much detail, please do ensure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Turn on the post bell notification to always stay notified whenever I post a new video. Consider liking the video and please watch it right up to the very end. The recent UEFA Champions League encounter between Inter Milan and Barcelona has been marred by some questionable officiating by an on-field referee as well as the VAR. The game ended 1-0 in favor of Inter at the Giuseppe Meazza, with Barcelona being denied a goal that should have stood, while also seeing two possible penalties not given. There was also a potential red card on Hakan Çalhanoğlu that was not shown by the referee either. Following the loss, there were reports claiming that Barca were planning to lodge an official complaint with UEFA to air their concern over the incident, especially with regards to the VAR, Paul van Boekel. However, having contemplated such a move, Barcelona eventually decided against filing a formal complaint. But a new report from Mundo Deportivo is claiming that why Barca will not lodge a complaint, President Joan Laporta himself will take a step towards making UEFA aware of their concerns about the situation. It is claimed that the Barcelona Supremo will send a message to UEFA President Alexander Ceferin via a formal letter or a phone call in which he plans to air his concerns about the VAR controversy from the match against Inter Milan. Laporta wants to convey to Ceferin that Barcelona are worried about the behavior of Van Boekel in particular, especially after he also denied them a clear-cut penalty in the game against Bayern Munich as well last month. The Barcelona Supremo wants to ask him, aware of the damage that these incidents could damage the club, why it is hard not to think along the lines of a possible conspiracy against the team due to the repeated nature of these incidents. Barcelona are currently third in Group C in the Champions League and could risk missing out on qualification for the next round if they fail to beat Inter again in the next game at Spotify Camp Nou. Our game against Inter Milan on Tuesday was one of the highest games I saw with controversial moments. I've never been a Barca fan. I don't think I've seen a Barca match full of controversy. Of course, there are years that we have played games full of controversial decisions from match referees, but this one on Tuesday was too much. It was not just a coincidence, and of course up to now Barca are still very hurt about the way the match was officiated. And the next day, I quite remember the next day reports were saying that Barca wanted to file a complaint to UEFA about the referee decisions, but Barca later said that they will not do it again. They reversed the decision. But now it seems as though our president, Joan Laporta, is still feeling so hurt about those decisions by the match referee in that game. And according to this report, Laporta wants to go directly to the UEFA president, Alexander Ceferin, to file a complaint to him about the match referee, the referee in particular who officiated the game. But of course, we all know this won't change anything about the result of the game. This won't change anything, but just to ensure that those referees should be aware, they should mind their decisions, they should check well. It should not be like a one-sided something. So we play against Inter Milan again on Wednesday next week, and of course that will be a game that we need to win. We must win if we want to have any hope of going through the knockout phases. And of course it's going to be disgraceful if we don't. Back-to-back years without qualifying for knockout stage will be just a purely disgraceful something. So let's hope that it works out. It works out, which means we need to beat Bayern and Inter to have the fate of qualifying. So we just also hope that the referee, whoever referee the match, I don't know, but Barca fans will be hoping and praying that This kind of moments that we experienced on Tuesday should not happen again, because it's going to be hell. It's going to be disastrous, so let's hope that things should go fair, because normally if things were fair, right, even though yes, we didn't play well against Inter at the San Siro, that's just the honest truth, but mind you, if the referee could have been fair in that game could have been at least a draw, whereas Barca did not play well, but picking up a point there would be still crucial. So now it's just something that it put us in fear if we will actually qualify or not. But so it's something that we need to hope and believe. Xavi needs to get his tactics right. We need to play well. Of course, after the first international break, Barca have not been the Barca prior to the international break, and we need to up our game, or else we are going to suffer, because this month is not a month that we need to joke, right? The schedules are too much. We have packed matches this month of October, and this is the kind of month that can shape up your season. So hopefully we can adjust, mindful of the fact that we have injuries as well, which is going to be somehow it's going to affect us, no doubt about that. But let's hope that we play well and win the games that matter. Then moving on to the next story of discussion, Memphis Depay might not be getting adequate game time at Barcelona, but he is someone who has a lot of admirers outside the club. Back during the summer transfer window, the Dutch international was on the verge of exit with Juventus key, but the move fell through and the frontman eventually decided to stay put. Now, as reported by Spanish publication Mundo Deportivo, one of the many teams that were monitoring his situation were Newcastle United, and as things stand, the Premier League sides are still pondering the option of making a move for him in the next transfer market. It is pretty much understood that Barcelona will have no problem in cashing in on Depay. After all, the former Manchester United and Lyon forward is way down the pecking order. So far this season, he has made 3 appearances across all competitions, including 2 starts in the league, and has returned with a goal. It's been relayed by Mundo Deportivo that although Depay preferred to stay in Barcelona in the summer, his idea is to re-evaluate his options in January. He understands with Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang gone, the chances of him getting into the first team are considerably high, especially until the World Cup. Once the January transfer window comes, Barcelona themselves could look to add new faces, and that will only push Depay further down the card. And this is where Newcastle United are looking to pounce. For now, Depay's preference is to join the Champions League club, and although Newcastle are currently 7th in the Premier League standings, they have the financial muscle to attract big players through which they can begin their push. Despite being limited minutes this season, Depay is still valued by the Magpies, and there's a good chance that they might have a concrete move for him in January, regardless of the fact that his ongoing Barcelona contract ends in June 2023 anyway. So guys, with that we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, bye bye.